Hey everybody, my name is Matt Abraham, and I, along with my brother Michael, are creating Decentral Freight. It's an idea that's been in the works for a couple of years. We started our trucking company a second time in 2018 and ran it through COVID. And during that time, experienced the harsh environment of running off the load boards and interacting with brokers, both honest and shady, and having to constantly debate whether the game was worth the candle. Obviously, at that time, all industry was having to weigh that choice. But the problem is that issue still persists to this day in the trucking world. Centralized authorities pretty much dictate to carriers what rates go for what lanes, and oftentimes truckers are forced to decide whether to run a load for less than it costs to carry it or simply roll empty. And brokers will comfort themselves saying, "Oh, you'll make it up on the next one." Well, I'm here to tell you that there can be weeks that go by and that next one never comes. It's hell, and it's not fair. So Bro and I would rendezvous somewhere in these great United States. We each ran our own truck, sit down in a diner and be like, how on earth has this system held up for so long? How has one or two private organizations told nearly $1 trillion industry what one party to a transaction is going to get paid? There has to be a better way, and we definitely believe that there is. Now, we're not saying here that all brokers are rotten or bad for their customers. This isn't about bashing the entire 3PL industry. However, it is about using the digital revolution to benefit the end user again. Lately, it seems like the only entities benefiting from this massive consumption of cyberspace and tech are the big guys, the heavyweights that use your metadata, including your speech now from your cell phones, against you. I think we're all starting to feel rather betrayed and frankly skittish to keep vesting our trust in these apps and devices. That's why I'm beyond stoked to try and put something out there that people can look and say, hey, this benefits me again, you know? And now, obviously, I know this kind of sounds like it's geared towards the trucker. And while it's true, this is born out of a love of the hardworking men and women of the road, it's going to have some distinct advantages for shippers. A trustless system to track on-time performance and freight damage claims. What do I mean by trustless? Well, it's used in the crypto world to point out that there's no counterparty risk or human error. So basically, you're not relying on a previous shipper reviewing a carrier when they were happily enthused with their service or very mad at their service. It's just a simple ticker that logs the success rate and you can rely on. And then a big one for shippers is the ability to negotiate directly with your carrier. I have to imagine that working with a broker has to feel like giving up your agency. Neither party knows what the broker is taking off the top. Wow, what a position to be in, you know? Again, my brother and I are sitting there scratching our heads wondering how on earth a rent-seeking system like this has lasted this long. In a just society, the shipper would know how much the broker is making. It's as simple as that. And I can guarantee you that interactions between shipping and receiving staff and truckers is going to improve overnight when you take away this element, this barrier that currently keeps the two apart. Shippers are going to have cost savings and happier truckers showing up at their facilities on this platform. So, final component, blockchain. I know many of you are thinking, Matt, come on. Adoption of crypto is so low. Look at the traction on X posts, etc. Why tether this great innovation to something so blemished by rug pulls and speculation? I hear you, but the answer is simple. When done right, it empowers the end user in a way mankind desperately needs. We've seen in real time how dangerous it is to let third parties control your money, custody your money. In many cases, it's people's life savings. Ron Paul, God bless him, was right. When you have your money in a bank account, it's their money, not yours. The trucker convoy in Canada, the severe austerity mandated by the EU against the people of Greece, they could only take out X amount of dollars a day. The determination by authoritarian governments around the world now to create these CBDCs, providing them, when it's implemented, total hegemonic control. It's truly Orwellian and scary. But crypto is here today saying, yoo-hoo, you can opt out of that system at any time. Many people don't realize it, but Bitcoin is unseizable. If you can memorize a private key, that allocation of coins on the blockchain can never be touched. For the first time in history, it's like the little guy has the equivalent of a safe inside a vault buried in an underground bunker, like extreme protection that in the past was only afforded to the aristocracy. That's why it's so demonized and disregarded by the mainstream economy. Who runs that? Well, the monopolies, who've been ramping up their consolidation of power since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution and Keynesian central banks. Now, I'm going to refrain from going total Alex Jones on you here, but suffice it to say that blockchain is the means by which we can begin to level the playing field, because it's a growing block of competitors to the shell corporations and monopolies out there saying, we're not going anywhere. You can't deplatform us or demonetize us. Our ally is the people that use our products and services. And communities are built up around these blockchains. It is so fascinating and fun to watch. And that's exactly what we want here at Decentral Freight. To wrap up, I know the timeline on my website is pretty ambiguous at the moment. We're working on that. Now, I'm just a trucker. My background was in purchasing for manufacturing in Arizona and southern Utah. When my brother came to me in 2002 and said, let's buy my boss's truck who's retiring. Let's take over his accounts and see the country. But prior to that, I'd always wanted to cultivate a love of technology to streamline any department I was working in. So I've learned to program a little bit and piece stuff together that I could use to get that efficiency. But I'm no engineer. So we've got to get some heavyweights in software development on board to really get this thing moving. So if you're a developer working on your umpteenth project, building some bogus finance-related rent-seeking operation, and instead want to feel like you're actually building something that's going to impact the real economy and leave a legacy, please, for the love of God, give us a holler. I need you. And if you want to help me pay for that individual, please contribute. There's a donation page up, and soon we'll have a slick NFT collection available that'll act like a crowdfunding campaign where you can get discounts on the service when it goes live, either for a limited time or permanently, depending on how much you invest. And that pertains to both shippers and receivers, by the way. You can track our progress, vote for specific features, all that good jazz. So thank you very much for your interest. I hope you get as excited as I am about bringing honesty and a happier vibe to the freight world. Lots of tired, angry, bitter folks out there these days. I, for one, am very excited about being a part of something revolutionary and long overdue. Thank you very much.